Yo, appreciate your time and just know that I'm SK CryptoK, and today you should join my crypto club. Maybe by the end earn some dividends, so in advance I'ma thank you right now for that sub. Hey! Yo, let's go.
Yeah, man, feel free at any point to kind of stop me. I will try to be as concise as I can, and why this is still something that you're not late on. I know that a lot of people would look at the market cap and be like, oh man, it's already like 400 million market cap. This thing, train's already left the station. I'm just going to skip past blah, blah, blah. And that it's definitely the wrong way to think of this protocol, because this is unlike 90% of the bullshit that we see in crypto overall. You're looking at, in my opinion, non-financial advice, a protocol that is going to be in the top 10 of all cryptos, meaning this will be a multi dozens of billion market cap. Okay. And it's got the tokenomics and everything behind it, and the longevity factor already being nearly 3 years old, that the upside on this is immense. So, what do you think you've heard about elephant money, if anything?
So I've listened to, I listened to a video you sent me, and then I was scrolling through Elephant Money a couple of weeks ago, and there was another video that I just watched and listened to. a lot of it from what I've gathered is feeding Bertha.
Yeah,
Bertha
no,
wow.
That's it. That is it. Yep. And okay, so you got some of the fundamental important pieces, and I'll talk about Bertha, because other projects have come out and they've had things that sound like a Bertha. Oh yeah, some taxes are collected and it goes into this burn wallet and blah 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 blah. But then where are those projects now? They're all dead, right? They're trash. Okay.
Well, I looked into the most I guess the basics. As I have thrown in about $4,000 into Elephant Money, so
you have kudos.
Yes. I did that about a
month
ago. Yeah, I know.
Oh, so hopefully you bought the dip then. Damn.
I believe I caught it on its way down. I was one of those.
Yes. Good.
I don't think I caught it all the way down at the dip, but I caught it on its way down.
Yeah. Then, dude, that's perfect. You're positioning
well.
well.
What actually caught my attention first was in the buy lounge. Elephant Money is just everywhere on the buy bots. Like you would see with ETH and Bitcoin. Elephant Money is so popular on there now, and I believe it was in Dojo DeFi potentially, where Elephant Money buy spam was going crazy, and I think me and you chatted about a week or two prior about Elephant Money, and I had some liquidated funds just sitting in a wallet, so I went ahead and made the commitment. So far, I've considered putting upwards of $20,000 in, but with the Pulse situation and my own personal project situation right now, I've been more lenient on holding on to funds until I can kind of navigate this
these crypto waters.
I would like to say opportunity, the opportunity in front of me, because it's not ideal, but yeah. Back to you.
No, I know exactly where you're coming from with that, man. And so I'll explain. How about a little bit about why you're seeing so many buy bots of Elephant Token? Because all those buy bots you see technically aren't always coming from just purchases of Elephant Token from a user just buying the token. Okay. One of the really cool aspects, when you come to the page, you'll see, okay, you've got the token Elephant right here, but then you've got something called futures. You got something called unlimited NFTs. And then if you look on the menu, you've got trunk and farms and all these menu items, right? It's kind of like, this business is kind of like McDonald's, right? And if the token is the Big Mac. Well, not everybody goes to McDonald's for a Big Mac. Sometimes they want their damn, fish fillet chicken sandwich with futures, or maybe their McFlurry apple pie desserts with the NFTs. You've basically got an ecosystem that is attractive any which way you slice it. And here's the fundamental takeaway. No matter where you participate in Elephant Money, it all goes into buybacks of the token specifically for Bertha. And what do I mean by that? So there was a day 2 weeks ago where $1 million came into this futures contract, right? And 90% of that $1 million that came in, so $900,000, all bought Elephant token and specifically stuffed it right here into Bertha, this treasury. And that's what's some of those buy bots you've seen in the chat. Same thing goes with these NFTs. When you mint the NFTs, and they're 2 BNB a pop right now, 100% of that mint, that 2 BNB coming in, that's 100% of a buyback on Elephant token that goes into Bertha yet again. So you see where I'm going with this. Everything is pointed at this benevolent whale named Bertha and increasing her bag of this fixed supply token. And that's the genius that this protocol does better than anything we've seen so far. And I think that's what's really, really exciting about this. And so I'm going to give you a pie chart right here, but this is the token distribution. When I say it's a fixed supply, just understand we can never make or mint new Elephant token. There is only 1 quadrillion of these tokens that will ever exist, or 1,000 trillion. Some people like to hear it that way. Now, of the 1,000 trillion tokens that exist, okay, half of it is locked up in this smart contract called the Graveyard. It's kind of like a burn wallet that you've seen on SafeMoon and some other stuff, but it's not a burn wallet. It's a smart contract. That's the key difference here. And 50% of the supply is locked up in it. But because Elephant token is also a reflection token, there are reflections that eventually go into this Graveyard and pushes the percentage from 50% up to 51% eventually, right? So you can see right here on my screen, we are at 50.6. Eventually, when this hits 51%, the Graveyard will rebalance back down to 50%. And that 1% spread of tokens, which is the equivalent of 10 trillion tokens, actually gets locked into liquidity. Lock liquidity, which you can already see right here is damn near $79 million of locked liquidity, bro. This is crazy. Now, on this pie chart, I'm going to hit play. But this is what the distribution looked like back in May of last year. You had, half of it in the Graveyard, which leaves the other 500 trillion tokens to be divvied out between the participants like me and you, Bertha, and then the marketplace, right? The actual LPs where you're buying this on PancakeSwap. You've got a BNB pair and a BUSD pair. Now look what happens when I hit play, Tony. Look at this. So over time, month after month, you're seeing the 500 kind of spread around. But look at what's happening with Bertha. Look at this. All right. So Bertha, with all those buybacks happening, everything's kind of fluctuating. I'm going to run that back. But when we buy the Elephant token out of the LPs, we're removing token from the LPs in exchange for money. So the LPs are shrinking in token count, but they're gaining in dollar value. And then in the meantime, Bertha is super growing and the participants are kind of fluctuating around too. They're just kind of, people are buying it, people are selling it, they're taking profits, however you want to look at it. But it's all being divvied up like this. Now, this is important because Bertha, the Elephant Treasury, is a benevolent whale. She is designed to hodl the tokens and only sell what little she needs to meet daily liabilities of the entire ecosystem. So when you have a whale in the system, think about that. Even when it comes to VFX token, when it was still a thing, or Bitcoin or Doge, when you go into any token, you would damn near hope that the early whales don't dump on your head, right? Because if they did, they can cause a panic on the chart. Everybody else sells, and then usually that token dies. That's what happens in 99% of crypto. But with Elephant, you have a whale that's known, named Bertha, that just keeps gobbling up the available supply. So this blue pie slice is going to keep getting bigger. And eventually, right now, she's got 190 trillion tokens. Okay. The participants total only had 203 trillion tokens. There's going to be a time very soon where Bertha is actually bigger than all combined participants. So that takeaway right there, I just want you to look at Bertha's growth. And when you add her on top of the graveyard smart contract, that is a lion's share of the protocol owned liquidity that's happening here. And the stronger and larger it gets, the more the price actually ramps up, which is what we've seen on these charts right here. So we had one parabolic run a year and a half ago, and then a black swan exploit occurred, which knocked us right back down. All right. And, that's a $331 million flash loan that would have killed anything else in crypto. 99% of anything else would have died, folded, gone to a version 2, rebranded, whatever. Elephant didn't need to do that because it had deep liquidity and a strong community. And here we are a year and a half later, we finally done another run up. But this time we had a major sell event, but it's not a, exploit of any kind. And really the sell event that happened recently is mainly because we're still recovering from that first exploit a year and a half ago, because Bertha isn't the size that she used to be. Back here at the first run up, she held over 212 trillion tokens, and then she got exploited down to nothing. So all those tokens that she was squeezing the supply with, they got put back into the wild. And now here we are today. She was at 212 trillion back then. Today, she's only at like 190, trillion tokens. She's not even of the same size and strength as before. So right now, the protocol is getting stronger with all the volatility in the markets and the sells and buys on the Elephant token. But pretty soon, she's going to get to where she is large enough that she's controlling the supply. And when she controls the supply, again, like last time, she will control the price. And now that everything's really buckled up, right? Everything, is watertight. This is now the best bucket in DeFi, where you pour water in and that shit don't leak, right? That's what we have 3 years into this, where we've gone through every major stress test imaginable, from an exploit to negative FUD sentiment. Everyone wants to dump their tokens. We've seen it all and have already survived. That's the incredible thing and narrative that no other token has. So what questions at the moment might you have, kind sir?
First off, great explanation for all that. I love that you had the charting available and ready to be moved around too. Just give a very simple explanation with that. So I think my only question that is like really standing out. So Bertha, she got dumped completely a year and a half ago.
Yes.
We obviously, everyone, all community members of Elephant Money do not want to see that again.
Right.
With Bull being right around the corner, I imagine, halfway through Bull, those that are in the green potentially see the opportunity to sell. What safeguards are in to reduce that type of fallout from Bertha once again?
No, that's a really good question. So I'm going to explain it here on this other chart. This is very similar to what we already saw, this red and blue. Okay. Now, Bertha, before she had all her protections and got zapped, Bertha is in red on this chart. You see how the red's kind of going up pre-exploit over here? And the black line represents Elephant price. And so Bertha got to a certain size and she was squeezing the hell out of the price. And that's why it went parabolic until Bertha got zapped. You see how the red completely disappeared? It's gone, right?
Yep.
And, fast forward a year and a half later, we see the red slowly crept back up and the price is going up with it and, kind of crabbing along. Now, what happened back then? How did she get attacked? Is mainly the fact that, let me see if I can zoom in on her. So at that time, when a $331 million flash loan came in, it was a very sophisticated flash loan for one. Okay. So they came in and there were two elephant pools, just like there are today, a BNB and a BUSD pool. And long story short, all of that money came in and went into one pool. And then because there wasn't like proper time weighted average pricing, like, the TWAP and whatnot, they were able to inject all that money into one LP, redeem it on the other LP. And they did everything. They cycled it like hundreds of times per one block, extracted all that value out, and then took it away into Tornado Cash, basically. So in other words, Bertha had front and back door access for users to just inject money and take money out. And when you do it in a malicious manner, it was able to zap her tokens down to basically nothing. Okay. Now, the big difference of nowadays is that because BT still had control of Bertha, he didn't renounce anything. He was able to put a ring of governance, he calls them governance contracts, around Bertha. And what this does today, and since the exploit, is that all the incoming money that would go into Bertha stops at this shield around Bertha. So like money wants to come in, but it's going to stop at this shield and then get compartmentalized into a box, and then it gets metered into Bertha in a very controlled manner. Okay. And it's all automated. It's like an APR system. So this compartment that takes this money builds up in a 24-hour period, and then a community member calls a contract and it meters the money into Bertha. So that's one of the biggest advancements that happened here. Same thing with the money leaving Bertha. It hits another compartment and then it meters out to where it needs to go to pay for something else in the system. So if the exploit was because you had immediate front and backdoor access, that's now been completely eradicated, and you now have a shield of contracts around Bertha in and out, and everything's been triple audited now between Solidity Finance, Certic, and then Peck Shield is who he brought on at the time of the exploit. So yeah, that level of attack can never happen again. Nothing like it. And for the last year and a half, we've seen attempts at stuff and nothing. It's an impermeable thing now. Everything's watertight, airtight. And that's why Bertha in red has continued to just steadily climb. And that's what you see right now. So yeah, really good question.
It feels so validated, but I don't feel like it was anything special. Just kind of just basic. I think it seems like it was well, first off, borderline catastrophic. I mean, it did not look like a little thing to just happen. When it took place a year and a half ago. As I said, now that I have an investment to Elephant Money, it seems like that was the big first thing to like really hit it. How is it performing compared to the blockchain? So
yeah. Nope. And it's overall, it's outperforming everything else on the blockchain. While I talk here, I'll pull up another site, but Coin Codex keeps a pretty good track of what's happening with Elephant. And actually, I have an image that's pretty good to look at as well. Where is it at? Can't find it. This might be it. But here's a snapshot of kind of what's been happening. When you compare elephant price appreciation for the last, well, there's an updated one that says 15 months, but compare elephant's rise in price overall to the rest of the world. So Apple, Bitcoin, everything that you see on this list right here. Everything else is really just trading sideways, and BNB is included in here too. BNB is actually lower because of all the FUD for the years. But Elephant, which is built on top of BNB, mind you, is still outpacing everything, which is really impressive. And it's also shown right here, if I can find Elephant Money.
I think with the community of Elephant Money, it's expected. I've been in crypto for 5 years, and all the projects with the strongest communities always outperform those with the most money or elaborate ideas. Not saying Elephant Money doesn't have elaborate ideas, as they do have Bertha, they have the graveyard. But I have not met a single project with a community like this. Elephant Money is one of a kind.
Yeah, it really is. And the community members do a good job in the chat to always stay positive. Like if someone comes in and asks an honest question, it's met with all sorts of links or videos, yada, yada. But if someone comes in and is like, oh, yeah, this is a scam, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, they're going to get muted, obviously. But they do good keeping the good vibes going there. But man, just look, even in the last 12 months, right? The elephant price is up 289% year over year, which is outperforming 92% of the top 100 crypto assets. That's crazy. And that's kind of what you see on this chart right here. It's outperforming everything. Like you can look at probably BNB price right now, CoinGecko. But BNB's, I think, down 11% year over year versus Elephant, which is up 289%. Let me look at BNB real quick. So for the last 1 year, BNB is actually negative 22%. So you have a protocol built on top of BNB that is trouncing all over BNB, right? It's outpacing it. And it's not just BNB. Look at Bitcoin. Like this whole bull run that we're seeing recently, this is all stuff that's popping off because it's been at the bottom, all year. And now it's doing a little bounce. But look, even Bitcoin year over year, this is great, but it's up 127%, but Elephant still outbeat it, outperformed it. You see that? And that's what's really cool. And with the recent news of, CZ stepping down and the new guy taking over and, everything's kind of been whitewashed as far as, litigation against Binance going forward, it really clears the path for BNB to have a really good future and capitalize on the upcoming bull run. Now, here's one other thing that's kind of cool to look at. So even though we're looking at this chart, this is in terms of US dollar value. And we had a parabolic run up a year and a half ago. And then recently we had another, pretty much a double top, damn near, right? And then, psychologically, that's always a resistance zone. People like to sell. And I think some really heavy whales sold and caused some panic dumping, which is fine. But this is the chart in USD value. Here's what's really cool. Do you remember what the BNB price was a year and a half ago, if you had to take a stab in the dark?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Well, fun fact, BNB was about $430 per coin back a year and a half ago. Today, we hit another double top, and BNB's been hovering in the 200 to 230 range per coin. So you're telling me that Elephant Protocol hit a double top in price appreciation, even though BNB is damn near 50% down in price. How is that possible? So let me switch this price in terms of BNB. And this is what's really cool, because now look at the chart. In terms of how much BNB is actually held in the protocol. On the first parabolic run a year and a half ago, the protocol had about 63,000 BNB coins in the protocol, in the LPs, everything, right? But now here we are, you know, I think we peaked at like 115,000 BNB coins, damn near double what we had before. And overall, we still have, and I think I pulled it up right here. This is the holder count of WBNB. Who do you see in number 2? Right there. It's Elephant. We are the number 2 holder of Wrap BNB on chain. You see that, right? And we've got nearly 95,000 BNB coins even today. So that's how you get a double top in price on USD value, even though BNB price has gone down per coin. So we hold more BNB than ever before, and we're going for that number 1 spot on that holders list. And I remember a year ago, we were talking about Elephant, like, yeah, we're in the top 10, we're number 9 and number 10, and like, this is cool. Bro, we're number 2 now, and we're not stopping. We're going to be the number 1 on-chain holder of BNB. And that's just on one LP pool. The other LP is BUSD, and we're number 5 holder on that list and climbing. So this chart really does go to show the strength of not only the community, but the protocol and the value capture happening in the protocol because of attractive contracts like futures, NFTs. The token itself is a great store of value, right? That's withstood so much, but we're going up. You know, we're going up. Eventually, we're just going to keep gobbling, you know, and this is going to go back up. We're going to hold more BNB, and then it's going to keep going up. We're going to hold more BNB. Like, this is going to be a monster. And then whenever BNB price actually does pop off to all-time highs, I think the first all-time high was like 600 or 700. Imagine when we're back at that level, or BNB in the future is $1,000. Like, we're charging up a spring-loaded action right here. That when BNB pops, it brings Elephant along for the ride, which is in addition to Elephant already just going to pop off on its own damn accord because of the tokenomics. That's the crazy thing. And I did a recent AMA with Yabonks, and he's a huge BNB bull. You know, despite all the FUD, he is a huge BNB bull. And when he saw how large Elephant Money is as a BNB holder, and he understands now the tokenomics of what makes just the Elephant price go up. BNB's down negative 22% year over year, yet Elephant alone is up 289% on its own accord. That is crazy. And this is part of why. So these numbers I'm going to show you right here on the left side. These numbers are the red and blue over here. Bertha is the treasury, is sitting at 192 trillion tokens, just about. And in the last 7 days, she has increased 1.5 trillion tokens, meaning this red has increased another 1.5 trillion in the last 7 days. The LPs, this is key. Remember the LPs on this pie chart. Remember, over time, these LPs shrink. We are buying out the Elephant tokens, and these LPs are capturing all that dollar value. These LPs are represented with this number in blue. There's 99 trillion tokens left. And in the last 7 days, we have removed 1 trillion tokens out of the LPs. So in blue right here, you see the blues going down, 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 down. And then we had the sell event. But you see how the blue, it's on a downward trajectory, which is what you want. And remember, there's only 99 trillion tokens of these in the wild that are left. And with this pie chart, remember, there's only 500 trillion that's even available between the participants, Bertha, and the LPs. And you're telling me there's only 99 trillion of these tokens left. So what that means is you've got a supply-demand shock that is going to happen on this token as we continue to drop the amount of available tokens left. This 99 is going to become 95, 85, 75. And the lower this goes, supply demand on a scarce token, it's going to drive the price bonkers. And you're already kind of seeing it too. So look at when the red and the blue, even back in the day, oh, my cursor gets all weird when I zoom in. But back here, you see where the red and the blue crossed, meaning Bertha got bigger than the LP. When that happened, the price started to really shoot up, okay? Red and the blue crossed, the price shot up. Then come over here, what do you see happened? The red and the blue crossed right here, and you see how the price is starting to shoot up. This is just math, bro. And these Dune analytics capture everything. So that's what's really exciting. And here's the last point before you ask a question. So if Bertha is growing and all this stuff, you know, how am I not late to this? Like, there's only 199 trillion tokens left. Like, this thing's at the end of its life. Like, no, there's a reason right here that he put this supply adjusted price of $18. So just like I told you, Elephant has 1,000 trillion tokens in supply, but just for fun, what if you just changed it to Bitcoin supply of 21 million, right? And you kept everything else the same dollar-wise. You right now, when you buy Elephant token, you're looking at an $18 Bitcoin. Let that sink in. Right now is how early you are in essentially looking at an $18 Bitcoin, meaning the upside of this is huge. Think back 12 years ago when people were actually talking about an $18 Bitcoin at the time. Like, hey, man, you think this Bitcoin thing is going to pop off? Man, I bought it at $1. Like, I don't know. I should just sell and go into something else. And the people that actually bought at $18 or held or whatever, they are multimillionaires and billionaires today, right? 12 years ago. That same opportunity is happening right now with Elephant. But because of the buy and sell fee that's collected, because of the attractiveness of futures and the NFTs, because of all that buyback activity that goes into Bertha, the benevolent whale, these are all mechanisms that Bitcoin does not have, right? Nothing else in crypto has it the way Elephant does. And so it's all about value capture and channeling that economic energy into one centralized location on a scarce token with supply demand that's going to make this rocket upward. This is an $18 Bitcoin. And we launched back when this was like a 2-cent Bitcoin. This project is already at a 100x from its inception on May 4th of 2021. Over 2.5 years ago, bro. We're already at a 100x. And this is on the backs of what, maybe 10,000 active participants. What happens when Elephant actually becomes the number one holder of BNB and we get on the radar of all this stuff? What happens when we go to 50,000 holders, 100,000 holders, 1 million holders? All of that economic energy coming in with a system that's actually able to scale and handle it. You are talking about explosive growth. Even the market cap right now, bro, this is peanuts compared to what this is going to become. We right now are, I think, if we were charted correctly, we are the 118th largest crypto project out there. Out of everything that exists, we are number 118. Bro, wait until we break through the top 100, the top 50, the top 25. This is all realistic because this is already like a 3-year-old protocol. There's something out there called the Lindy effect, and I'll end it with this. The Lindy effect means the longer that something actually survives, the probability increases that it will continue to survive, right? And what have you seen in most of crypto in all the years you've been in it? All these projects that sound good with white papers and this and that, and they launch, and then within 1 year, they are gone. They go belly up, something goes wrong, they either rug or just the community isn't behind it or the tokenomics are trash. 99% of things that launch in DeFi are dead on arrival within 1 year. Elephant is already 3 years old. So what does that tell you, bro? What does that tell you, bro?
Well, first off, I mean, I loved the Bitcoin analogy. I mean, that is a home run sales pitch right there. Absolutely, hands down, loved that little pitch right there of the $18 Bitcoin pitch. That's genius. I don't know if you stole that from someone or
No,
you're riding that
he
yourself.
put that. He put that on the site. This is the founder dev who put this on the site. And what does that mean? If what's Bitcoin at today? $38,000 divided by $18.87.
Yeah,
bro, that's still right now as it stands a 2,000x upside. 2,000x upside
that
sustainably.
Makes me feel really good about my $4,000 investment, right?
Bro, right?
I saw that and I was like, whoa, buddy.
And that's on top of deep liquidity, man. Remember all these other projects you've seen launched and they're like, yeah, we've got a 100x already. And then someone sells $20 and it evaporates into like only a 10x because of low liquidity. This is a deep liquidity juggernaut, bro. That's the crazy thing here.
It's insane. I love it all. I really do. I want to put more on elephant money. I mean, I think,
and there's time to do it.
Yeah. Oh, there is, as long as I hit it before bull, because I'm not trying to dump 30K into Shiba Doge or not Shiba Doge, Shiba New. Dude, all those fucking Shiba Doge, all those now.
Bro, let me show you one last thing. Remember the governance contracts, that shield around Bertha? Mm-hmm. This is one example of that. This is the futures contract yield tab. We're not going to go much into detail other than this particular day back in June of this year, a total of 518,000 came into the futures contract alone. Not the token, not the NFTs, just the futures contract with its 0.5% a day attractive yield. And this is part of that governance contract, that shield. So the money stops in this BUSD treasury and then it gets metered into Bertha. And look at what she size-wise was in June. She's at 192 trillion today. She had 144 valued at only $24.5 million. This bought 2.5 trillion tokens in the background and stuffed it into Bertha. Now, fast forward, this image was from October 23rd of this year. And we had another baller day and there were $779,000 in BUSD. This bought elephant token in the background and stuffed it into Bertha. Now, what do you notice? That last image, she only had 144 trillion tokens and she was valued at $24.5 million. Look at her at this point in time. She had $76 million. So the bigger she gets in token count, the more exponential that her dollar value actually gets. And here is another way to look at that. Check this out. This is Bertha. Her token count in yellow is slowly going up. This is her token count in trillions. And as her token count goes up, remember, she's squeezing the supply of the token. So in blue, her token value is going exponential bonkers. Look at this, man. The bigger she gets, the more the value she captures. That's why you see stuff like this. Oh, only 144 trillion tokens, but $24.5 million. But then look, 182 trillion tokens with $76 million. And then what is she actually at today? So BNB price is lower, but look, we're still at $76 million off of 192 trillion tokens. So the larger her token count gets, the more this price actually gets crazy. And you can see the sell-off right here in October. This is when all the elephant tokens got dumped off. And then look, we're already back going up. This is the trajectory. This isn't an always 100% of the time go up token. This is an overall trend of it going up and absorbing more value. That's what even the chart shows. When you look at the chart right here, I'm going to switch it back to US dollar value. But take a look. If I was to zoom this out into 1 week blocks. Okay. I'm going to zoom all the way out. And what do you still see overall with the token? It's on an overall upward trend, is it not? So talk about a store of value token in its own right. But then you've got all of these attractive things that people get into, like futures, you know, and I'll show you what my futures account looks like. But right now I have a locked value of $66,000 and I'm earning 0.5% a day on this amount with an interest available right here that I can interact with. I can claim this out or I can compound it back in and just, you know, keep this thing moving. So yeah, what questions might you have? It's just overall, I'm just trying to paint the picture that this is an incredible store of value. That's all I'm saying.
That point is made clear. I mean, I'm not sitting here saying, so why should I invest? You know, I did have some questions in terms of Bertha and, you know, avoiding that massive dump again. You know,
can't happen.
Of course, it was built on BNB, BUSD. You know, so those questions are always good to ask as well. In terms of the lead developer, I mean, what are his thoughts on what's just his overall thoughts on, you know, building this out even further? I mean, you know, you guys are already in a position where I believe you mentioned your top 100 and something. I could be wrong. You know, so I mean, you guys are already at a point where you are so far up there, there's not much more you need to do. You know, sometimes you just have to let it ride for a little bit. But that that analogy of $18, you know, compared to what Bitcoin was at $18 to where it is now. Do you think you see something like that in this bull run, or you see it in the upcoming bull run where it really takes off into that top?
Yeah, that's a good question, man. Dude, I think
token.
So, you know, I'm a bull on this protocol overall, and that's just because of my 3 years in DeFi. I have diversified into a number of different things, dozens of different things, right? Some of which I've made money on, some of which were rugs, some of which just treaded water and died, right? Elephant is by far my best performing asset because I got in on day one, and it's just proven itself through every imaginable stress test that you can throw at this. And 2.5 years, more than 2.5 years later, it's still going up. It's still storing value, and it's my best performing thing. So with this pie chart that I showed you and where we stand today, and just how since May of last year, how it's really gone up for Bertha in size and token count, I think that 2024 is going to be an incredible year for Bertha and Elephant as a protocol on its own accord. And then in the background, you're going to have a bull run, which is just going to lift up Bitcoin, Ethereum, and everything, BNB included. And we've got a spring-loaded action of how much BNB we've actually gobbled and are holding on to. We're going to go up with BNB. We are going to capture the bull run ourselves just thanks to BNB, in addition to the tokenomics that are happening here. So just when it comes to these LPs shrinking, there's only 99 trillion left. The more that this keeps shrinking, because futures is very attractive, NFTs are very attractive, the farms are very attractive, trunk token, everything in the ecosystem we haven't talked about yet, that's going to keep driving this 99 trillion down to 80 trillion and 50 trillion. And the lower this number goes, the higher the price appreciation goes on the elephant token. So, you know, we're number 118 on the list, but I think by end of 2024, we'll be in the top 50 easily. And then into 2025 and beyond, we'll be cracking the top 25, if not the top 10 itself. Which, you know, even BNB right now, $35 billion in market share. there's nothing stopping Elephant Token from coming up here. The other cool thing with BNB is that it is also a limited supply token. And because we're about to be the #1 holder of BNB, we are going to control the supply of BNB. So Elephant Token's already going to do its own supply shock based on its own tokenomics. But then on top of that, we're going to have a stranglehold on the BNB supply, theoretically supply shocking BNB price single-handedly with this protocol. So you're going to have supply shock on top of supply shock. That's going to have Elephant and BNB in the top 10 eventually. And, there's nothing stopping us from going, all the way to #1. There's a reason why he put Bitcoin supply adjusted price right here. It's because he knows he has created something better than Bitcoin. That's why he's directly calling them out. That is why this statistic exists. We're going for that spot, and we're so early right now. And anything that you have in Elephant Token now, don't be surprised if in a year or two, you have to look at this as a good store of value. It's healthy when you have a chart that's chopping sideways like it is right now. Bitcoin did the same thing in its early years. It didn't always just go up. It would go up and then crash back down, go up and crash back down to a new high, high or low. And that's what Elephant's doing. It's just accumulating more BNB as time goes on, and it's going to do another leg up. So that's the other cool thing too. I don't know if you can show me another protocol, but here, back when Elephant launched, way back here, we had a little 1,000% run up right here. That little jog upward, and then it corrected. And then we had another 900% run up before the Black Swan event. And then a year and a half later, we had another 1,200% run up before the correction. So this has already had 3 cycles of 900% plus, and is only deepened in liquidity along the way, has gotten stronger along the way. That's just 3 waves I pointed out. What happens with wave 4 and wave 5 in the future of this protocol? So, if you look at this with a 2 to 5 year outlook, this is one of the best store of values that you can truly park your profits from other places into. I mean, there's protocols that are building their treasuries on top of Elephant because it's that damn good. Right? It's a store of value that just does not crash. And that's how early that you actually are. It's an $18 Bitcoin on the backs of, I think currently there's 30,000 holders, but active wise, I say there's 10,000 active people. But yeah, man, this is an underground project that is ready to pop. And we are at the cusp of it because of where we are at on this pie chart. Bertha eventually hits a tipping point to where we are just going super parabolic. This isn't something that's going to happen in 5 years. We are at the cusp of it right now, right before a bull run, which BNB is going to do its thing and help us out. But on our own laurels, we are going to have our own supply shock, and we're at the cusp of it. So whoever can get in, however they get in now, not financial advice, but I think it's a better bet than 99% of the other moves or gambles that you can make in crypto overall. This is a surefire hit, already backed by years of data. This isn't like a low liquidity startup hey guys, look at our white paper and we've got all this experience. Nah, bro. 99% of the stuff that comes out in crypto are low liquidity startups from inexperienced ass teams. Whereas at Elephant, you've got a proven track record and you have a founder who knows what he's doing. Here's one last thing. When it comes to the founder, okay, his name's Bank Teller, but he's a docs dev. His real name is Tony Perkins. You can go find him on LinkedIn. But he is a computer scientist from MIT, and he has been in business and economics with over 25 years of experience in those fields. He was a CTO at Fidelity. He's coded programs that Fidelity still uses today to handle trillions of dollars today. That's this guy. That is the founder of Elephant Money. And he's a chess champion. He's also had some experience at State Street. So all of these financial and fintech firms, he has done so much for. And now he's been coding for DeFi for 7 years. And everything he's learned in those 7 years, coding across Ethereum chain and Tron chain, all the successes and failures, all the competition that's come through, everything that he's been through has now been culminated into what you see now at Elephant Money. This is everything that he's put together, and it's survived so much. So yeah, man, this is why I'm so bullish when I talk to you on Elephant Money, man. And you know me, I diversify into other stuff. Hell, I took a chance with VFX, and look what happened there. Yet another low liquidity startup from an inexperienced ass team, and I lost my ass. You know what I'm saying? I should have just put those funds into Elephant Money and did something more with my NFTs or futures. But I took a gamble because I'm always trying to play around with other stuff in crypto because I want to make money elsewhere so that I can take profits and bring it back home to the bank, which is Elephant Money. But it didn't work out. Yeah.
You know, I agree. I mean, of course, you're still holding. I guess for this portion, you know, if you want to end recording, you can, because I think we're gonna.
Let's shift gears to what you got.
You know, chit chat.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Any questions before we end the recording? Any questions you have? Any lingering things?
Yes, there was something you told me about a few weeks ago. Let me just find it, because that was something. Yes, it was the Elephant Money partner. Explain to me how that works, because I think I'm going to utilize that with some of the whales I know.
Yeah. So there's a very modest reward system at Elephant Money. And if you're already in, so you actually already have a partner affiliate link. Now, this isn't any of that stupid crap that you see elsewhere, which is like, oh man, it reaches down 10 levels and the first level gets 10% rewards and then 7% on level 2. And blah, 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 blah. It's none of that. Okay. It's a very modest 0.5% reward. So if they buy the token under your link, you'll get 0.5% of their elephant purchase. Meaning, if they put in $1,000 on Elephant Money, you will see $5 worth of Elephant Money go into your bag. It's very small, very modest, but that $5 at a 10x later, that's now $50. You see where I'm going with it? And depending on how much more they put in, you're getting Elephant Token, which is an appreciating asset that will go up for the inevitable 10, 20, 100, 500, 2000x that I believe will happen at Elephant Money. Not financial advice, but it's an appreciating asset that's been killing DeFi, or saving DeFi, I should say, but it's been kicking ass. And then there's no two ways around it. The numbers don't lie. So if you gave out your link, they would come over to this Buy with Bertha on the Elephant page, and inherently there is a 10% fee collected on buy, sells, and transfers of Elephant Token. But if they buy in under your link, they will actually get it for 8.5% fee instead of 10. And 8% of that will go to Bertha, and the other 0.5% of that will actually go to the upline, which would be you. So that's the reward system for the Elephant Token itself. The referral affiliate also bleeds into other aspects, which would be futures. Futures has a little 1% collected, split 50-50 between the upline and themselves. Also, your various things with Trunk and Stampede, they have some baked in rewards too that I'll DM you some details on. But yeah, a very modest and sustainable reward system at the end of the day.
Okay. That little $5, like you said, could turn into a lot.
Yes.
Pretty significant. Especially if you get the right people behind it.
Yeah.
I mean, and
absolutely.
It helps some. They get the cheaper fee, 8.5%. So it sounds like a. Now I just need to get some people to start using it.
Yeah. It honestly is a win-win, brother, and you can't go wrong with it. And I know a lot of your whale friends dabble with other stuff in crypto. Look, Everyone wants a safe place to park their profits, right? You can't just put everything into stables because the stables are going down 7% inflation year over year because the US dollar is getting attacked by the world, right? So why stable up when you can put it into an appreciating asset, which has the history behind it to be the best store of value out there? So yeah, man, elephant's dope. The NFTs are dope. I'll send you videos on that. And futures is incredible too. Actually, before I end this recording, I'm going to give you one example. My locked value that I'm earning 0.5% a day on of 66,000. I'm trying to build this to get this to 100,000. And when I do, okay, then I'm going to switch to like a 1 week out of a month I want to claim out, as income, and 3 weeks out of a month I want to build. So when I have this calculator right here, and you imagine that this says 100,000 on it, now I'm earning 0.5% a day on 100,000, which is $500 a day. And for 1 week, I'm going to claim that out. So that times 7 days, $3,500. I'm going to claim it out. Now, this is what happens. When I claim out $3,500, it does deduct from my balance of 100K. So this minus 3,500 becomes 96.5, right? But I pocketed 3,500. But now I'm going to let it build for 3 weeks. So check this out. 0.5% a day of 96,500 is $482 a day, not 500 like it used to be. But I'm going to let this build up for 21 days. Now I have a reward amount of $10,000, which you have to, in order to compound, you have to put in $200 fresh to build it. So I'm going to take this 10,000 plus my 200 to compound, plus it's going to stack on top of my 96,500. Now look what I just did. My total value started at 100K. I dinged it down to 96.5K, but then I built it up to $106,000, which now I'm earning 0.5% a day on that. 534 a day. I'm back to my claim week. Remember how the first month I pulled out 3,500? Now my next month I pull out 3,700, and I rinse and repeat the cycle. My next month after this will pull out 4,000. My next month after that will be 4,300. Next month after that, 4,600, then 5,000, then 5,500. You see how I established a monthly income of $3,500, and month after month it goes up and up and up, all paid for sustainably by Bertha, because remember, Bertha is going up. All the money I put in, she's doing buybacks of the elephant token, squeezing the supply, and the value goes up. So he sells less tokens over time. Last example. Remember how I said this treasury gave 2.5 trillion tokens to Bertha, right? Well, whenever you expect, or these people expect, their $518,000 of cash ROI back, Bertha does not sell the same 2.5 trillion tokens to get that dollar value back. Why? Because she's going up in size and value. So when these people are owed $518,000, right? She doesn't sell 2.5 trillion tokens, bro. She only sells like 300 billion, 500 billion. She sells a fraction. She sells less tokens to give out the same dollar value because she's always climbing in size and value. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah. I love it. I love
that's
it.
Why that's why this system is solvent, man. People love this right here.
Dude, you are making me want to throw more into elephant money right now.
You should, man. Dude, you're a project leader. Eventually in coming years, you are going to have profits up the wazoo, and you're going to want a safe place to store them that's actually generating more yield over time. That's why I'm putting elephant money on your radar, because I know you're well connected and I know you understand tokenomics and how the rest of DeFi works. And I'm bringing it to you because I know you're not going to find anything else out there like elephant money. You know what I mean? So that's why. And I'm glad you had this call.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Not project wise. I mean, our whole front runner was trading and compounding interest, and look how that has turned out.
Right.
Look how that has turned out for everyone, including yourself. it's disgusting, of course. But yeah, no, elephant money. I trust me when I'm starting to have some spare change again. I'm gonna be right back on it. I don't really see myself holding much more for the time being.
I hear you, man. But now you got it in the back of your mind. You know what to do. So I'm going to go ahead and end the recording. Yeah, man. So perfect. Here, let me just stop this real quick.